Well, we have some fresh practice footage as the Eagles were at the NovaCare complex today getting ready for their Week 1 matchup against the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick, he's very concerned about this position group for Philadelphia on Sunday. Nick Sirianni and Sean Desai, they have a secret weapon they haven't shown anybody yet, and we have a hint at the punter situation. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Wednesday. Philadelphia back at the NovaCare complex today. They just wrapped up a practice. You see a lot of the footage rolling through on your screen right now. Some little news, nose tidbits from that, and then a look ahead to everything going on with the Patriots. Let's start, though, with a hint at the punter for Sunday. Well, here's Aaron Sippos holding for Jake Elliott during practice a little bit earlier, and normally if you're the holder, you're going to be the punter, and the fact that Philadelphia still has not signed a punter seems to indicate Sippos will be elevated from the practice squad and will be your starting punter for the first week at least. Now, still Wednesday, things can change, but I would bet my money right now Sippos is going to be your punter week 1. Now, if you're wondering who's going to return punts, well, Boston Scott was your #1 punt returner today in practice, according to Jeff McClain. He was followed up by Rashad Penny, a little interesting there, but both running backs seem to be kind of 1 and 2 in terms of returning punts. Now, really quickly here on the depth chart that was announced yesterday, everybody is exactly where you would expect them to be. No real surprise here, although one thing to circle, if you look at the will linebacker, it's Zach Cunningham / Christian Ellis, although we expect it to be Cunningham, but if it was Ellis as the third linebacker on the group, he wouldn't have a slash right next to his name. And the same goes for safety. Nick Sirianni's press conference yesterday, he wouldn't say who the starting safety is next to Reed Blankenship. You see Terrell Edmonds / Justin Evans. My guess is it'll be Edmonds whenever they want to have safeties in the box, and then I guess Evans whenever they want to cover people, but still very interesting to see that they didn't officially name the #2 linebacker and the #2 safety. Oh, and by the way, just for people wondering, we've been following the whole Sidney Brown starting week 1. He's listed officially in the second team defense there behind Reed Blankenship, and so the odds of him starting seem to be next to 0. Now really quickly, Wednesday Link Live, couple of very exciting things. First, we're going live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight, and that is because we have 2 special guests. Philly 500 and Joey Shakes are gonna go ahead and join us for a 4-person panel. Myself, Josh Davis, 500 and Shakes, all talking about the Eagles. Don't be late, come ask questions, and get your entries into our DeAndre Swift mini helmet giveaway as well, all happening tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now, as you get ready for the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, he met with the media a couple of days ago, and he was asked about the best part of the Eagle overall defense, and of course he said the defensive line, but listen to him rave about this. Quote, "They're the best pass rushing front in the league by, I'd say, quite a bit." Quite a bit, says Bill Belichick. You can tell that not only are they going to miss Riley Reiff, their starting right tackle, but they've had some injuries and internal turmoil there at the guard spot. Belichick very clearly is concerned about the Eagles' overall pass rushing abilities and their chance to get after Mac Jones and hopefully slow down this Patriot passing attack and make life hell for not only Mac Jones, but the rest of the quarterbacks they're going to face during this season. Now, one of those pass rushers on the best pass rushing unit in the National Football League is Haason Reddick. He was at practice today, was a full participant. However, Sean Desai did mention that it's going to be a comfortability thing, he said there, in terms of using his hands with whatever cast he has, whatever he works out in. But it'll be great. His mentality's been great. He'll be good to go to do what he needs, what we need him to do, end quote. And so if you're wondering the Haason Reddick situation, at least for week 1, dealing with that whole hand injury, thumb injury, whatever you want to call it, he's going to wrap it up. He'll probably have that big club, and he's going to play with it. Now, how effective will he be, being an outside linebacker pass rusher who likes to use his hands to kind of, push aside defensive linemen offensive tackles and get around quarterbacks? That remains to be seen, but he at least is a full go. He at least is going to be able to play, and that is good news. Thumbs up for that. Now, Sean Desai was also asked about Jalen Carter, and he gave a pretty interesting answer during his press conference just the other day, and that is that he views Jalen Carter as kind of their secret weapon. He says there might be an advantage going in because teams haven't seen Jalen Carter or his defense. They said, "Ask me after the game if we had an advantage," end quote. Now, the Eagles were very vanilla in preseason, hardly played any of their starters, and Jalen Carter got 3, 4, 5 snaps maximum during the first couple of preseason games. I think the plan is bring him in this game, unleash him, unlock him, let him go full bore all at the Patriot offensive line, and hopefully explode, blow up, and show everything why he's the #9 overall draft pick and should have been the #1 overall draft pick in the past April draft. If he can dominate, and he can be kind of the surprise secret weapon that the Patriots know coming, but don't know to the full extent, he might be the big-time disruptor and a big reason why Philadelphia wins on Sunday. Now, speaking of that vanilla offense and both vanilla defense, Nick Sirianni was asked about that in his press conference just earlier this morning, and he said, quote, "They were very vanilla in the preseason, not wanting to show too much, provide film of what the new coordinator players have in store for the regular season. And I kind of wonder, does this mean they're going to be very different than where they were last year, both offensively and defensively, with Desai and obviously Brian Johnson? Or are there just going to be a couple of small wrinkles that he didn't want to put on film for Bill Belichick, Bill O'Brien, and the rest of the Patriot coaching staff to go ahead and decipher and try and figure out? We do forget that they've had a full offseason to get ready for this Jalen Hurts offense. And honestly, when you look at Bill Belichick, he is a great defensive-minded head coach who has shut down mobile quarterbacks in the past. Not every single one, but he's done a pretty good job. And so I think it's very, very smart that, one, they didn't play Jalen Hurts, much to my chagrin earlier on, but two, they were extremely vanilla, most to the detriment of the scoring in those early preseason games, and hopefully can take advantage of that with kind of a unfair advantage of not having any film going against Bill Belichick. Nick Sirianni also commented on the Eagles announcing all of their 9 captains for the 2023 season during his press conference. Of course, those 9 captains are Fletcher Cox, Jake Elliott, Brandon Graham, Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, Darius Slay, and also A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, 2 new captains here for the 2023 season. Sirianni said this, quote, "Anytime you give guys good news, guys that are not only tremendous players, but tremendous leaders and tremendous people on your team, it's obviously something that you really enjoy and remember as a coach. And so really happy for all the guys voted captain because it just says so much about them, their teammates think about them, and they just obviously get really excited for the guys that get to wear the C on their chest for the first time this year. And so, doesn't surprise me at all because A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith have special leadership qualities, play tremendous football, and they lead in their own way. I'm really just happy for them, really happy for all the guys," end quote. And Smith's kind of the main one to focus in on here. A.J. Brown was only not voted a captain last season because he was brand new, and most of the time you can't be a first-year captain unless you're like a rookie quarterback in Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson, maybe C.J. Stroud in this case. But the fact that A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith have both been voted shows how everybody feels about Smitty. And this whole idea of there being a 1 receiver and a 2 receiver in Philadelphia, oh, it's A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, is so not true. It's A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and they're on equal playing fields. They're 2 different receivers just due to the fact they have different body sizes, but Devonta Smith is very clearly a number 1 wide receiver in this offense and in all 31 other offenses in the National Football League. And while many people are wondering, will the Eagles pay out a lot of money to keep him, with a contract extension probably due next offseason, the answer with the captains being announced yesterday is a very clear and resounding yes. One final very interesting little point from yesterday's Athletic article revolving the Philadelphia Eagles, and more specifically Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon finally admitted that it was his reason, and he was the reason, why they lost the Super Bowl. And the article, of course, was behind a paywall. If you pay for The Athletic, you can read the entire thing. But it's nice to see that you finally have Jonathan Gannon admitting it. Now, it is September 6th, and the Super Bowl was back in February, so it took him a little while. I know he's been busy getting ready to have the worst football team in the NFL in the Arizona Cardinals. You know, no offense there, but it's basically true. Look at their roster. But it is nice to see he takes a little bit of the blame here. You know, he could have done it right after and maybe a post-game press conference where he said, hey, those final 2 plays, final couple of drives, they had wide open receivers. That's on me. Might have, saved him a little bit of face with the Eagle fan base, but at least he did go ahead and admit it. Props to Jonathan Gannon. Best of luck this season, although I think most of us can see the writing on the wall. They're very clearly tanking for Caleb Williams, and let's just hope Caleb Williams wants to go ahead and play for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, as I mentioned, tonight, Wednesday Link Live, we normally go live at 7, myself, Josh Davis, a little different tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, because we wanted to bring you guys a fun panel. I mean, I know a lot of you guys watch the Eagle content creators on this platform. Wanted to talk to Joey Shakes. I've never done a live show with him. I've done a couple with Philly 500, but both of them together, myself and Josh Davis, is going to be the best Eagles live show, hopefully, of the entire season so far for you guys. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, notification bell for when we go live. Bring your questions, get ready to enter the Andre Swift helmet giveaway as well, and come hang out with us for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. It's going to be a bunch of fun. Ultimator Day in this edition of the Thomas Mott Show. We are 1 day away from the NFL tomorrow with Chiefs and Lions, and of course 4 days away from the Eagles' first game. Thumbs up for getting excited. I know I am. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show.